Hey, John Kavakis here with another edition of My Take, and we're going to take a look at Goldvarg's 1964 Mercury Parklane Breezeway sedan. Now, Ford toyed with the idea of a reverse slanted rear window for quite some time, going back maybe as early in design studies as 52 or 53 or so. We saw it in the sketches of the 1954 Ford Cougar. Now, we know where that name came from, all the way back 1954. I'm going to show you some pictures here. Feel free to hit pause and take a look at them in more detail. Some pretty fascinating. Now, around the same time, there was a design proposal called the Blue Job done by a guy named Grissinger. This was designed for Mercury, and it incorporated the reverse slant rear window, but in a retractable top. Now, that retractable top concept actually went into production on the Fords 57, 58, and 59. And it was originally designed for the Lincoln Continental Mark II. Never quite worked out for that, but we saw it on those Fords, and it started all the way back in 1954, 1955 with Grissinger's original drawings. So the actual roof line didn't actually see production until the 57 and 58 Mercury Turnpike Cruisers, another controversial design. It had the reverse slant rear roof line, but the window itself actually slanted towards the rear of the car. It had three pieces. The middle piece would lower electrically. It's really neat design, I think. The full-blown reverse slanted rear window came into its own in the 1958 Lincoln. Stayed there through 1960. It's another design that polarized people. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I think it's elegant looking in a very 1950s sort of a way. But the Lincolns had it with the reverse slanted rear roof line and the reverse slanted window. Now, that was left off the beautiful and iconic 1961 Lincoln Continental, but that roof line showed up again in 1963 on the full-size Mercuries, and it stayed there through 1968. So that particular design element, I think, is ironic when we look back upon it, happened to be part of a number of designs that really didn't click with the public. Some people loved him, some people hated him, a lot of people stayed away from him. I think it came into its fullness in the year 1964 on the 64 full-size Mercuries. I love that design. Now, I know a lot of people say that, you know, from about 1961 onward, maybe 1960, the Mercuries were really nothing more than warmed over Fords. But everybody was doing the same thing. Everybody had a smaller model, a mid-size model, and a full-size model. And, you know, General Motors, Chrysler, they all made variations of those. You could see the similarities in them in the front cowl, the door lines, the roof lines, and that sort of thing. Ford was really no different. But I think that 1964, I like the 63, but I think the 64 was just really well done. I think it was very cohesive design all the way from the front bumper and the headlights to the rear end and those 333 taillights on either side of the rear end. So Goldvarg's given us a model of the 64 Parklane Breezeway. They do it in bittersweet, and they also make it in peacock. Now, I've got one of the peacocks here, and we're going to get it on the turntable and take a look at it. Now, we've been waiting a while for this. A lot of people have been asking for it. It's taken a little while for it to come into production, but we've got it here, and we're going to get a chance to take a look at it. So let's put it on the turntable and take a close look at it. Finish, excellent, deep, lustrous, is beautiful. The front grille is nearly perfectly captured. Again, I want to mention the badging on the Goldvargs. We're seeing this with some of the other manufacturers now. I think Goldvarg hit the, just made the bar high on badging and detail work, and we're seeing it here. It's not as much as some of the other cars have, but it's well done and it's accurately placed. Trim on the side, really well done. They've got that full length trim strip that goes from the front bumper all the way to the tail lights, but they also have the sidebar that is done very well. They've got the hatch marks on the front fenders, separate door handles, separate lock covers. The mirror is to scale and accurately, you know, this is something, it's not just a generic mirror, it's an accurate reproduction of the mirror on the production model. And of course the rear end is another work of art. It's just beautiful. I love those tail lights on either side. The lensing on them is beautiful. The badging, I'm going to give you a close-up of the badging because it itself is a work of art. It's got the right colors in it. It's got the right dimensions. It's got the right chrome part where the key goes for the trunk. It's just really well done. The window trim to scale, it's photo etch, it's flat, but it's small enough that it looks absolutely perfect. Little details on the Goldvargs really make it shine. Take a look at the venting and the windshield wipers right beneath the front of the windshield. It's just beautifully done, black wash, so that it has some dimension to it. And as you're looking at that picture of the venting, the windshield wiper, and the steering wheel, you could be looking at a full-size car. I want to point out the wheels. Now, you know I have not been a big fan of the Goldvarg's wheels, but these wheels are nearly perfect. Look at those things. They're accurately reproduced. They've got the right black wash on it. They've got the emblem right in the middle, which is perfectly reproduced. The white walls are the right size. This wheel is very, very well done, and I think it's a difficult wheel to do. You take a look at the interior. It's what we have come to expect from Goldvarg. The dash instruments are picked out. All of the trim and the passenger side of the dash is just beautiful. The steering wheel is an accurate representation of the full-size steering wheel. You even see the gear shift lever in there looks to scale and what you would expect if you were sitting behind the steering wheel yourself. But the other thing that we've seen on the last several Goldvarg issues are these side panels. Now, it's kind of hard to get a picture of them, but I'm going to give you an idea of what they look like. I mean, they've got the right wood grain trim in them. The armrest is body color, the same color as the seats and everything. The handles, the window crank for the vent windows, it's all there, and it is beautifully, beautifully done. Then, of course, you have that rear window cut in 3 pieces, and if you take a close look at it, you can see that the middle part is part way down. It's one of those little details that Sergio adds to his cars that really give it that realistic look to it. So it reminds you that those windows went down. And finally, I'd like to just mention that trim on the roof line right there below. It's excellently reproduced. This is a fantastic model. It's $109 or so. Sergio is holding the price. They're available right now. I think there's a chance that the Peacock is available and the Bittersweet may be sold out, but there are a couple of dealers out there that still have them in stock. This is well worth the price of entry. It's a beautiful model. It'll be a great addition to your Goldvarg collection, but I think it'd be a great addition to any collection. It's a breezeway. And, you know, as much as this design polarized everybody into full-size cars, I think it's very attractive in a 143rd model. This is my take on Goldvarg's 1964 Mercury Parklane Breezeway. Thanks for tuning in. Before you leave, give me a thumbs up if you would, please. I'd appreciate it. Give me your comments. I'm just loving to have the back and forth with the folks that are watching the channel. And of course, I'd love to have you a subscriber as well. We got a lot more coming over the next week and a half or so. Look forward to sharing more with you. Have a great day.